Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Fatback 4. It's not the Fatback 4, it's the cop update for this Tuesday. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. It's not too bad today, weather-wise. It's looking not too bad, not too bad. If anyone's out playing golf, let me know. I am having an issue with my microphone right now, which is the great crack, isn't it? Just before we get started, so I'm going to see if I can sort that out while we walk along. Is how it works. I'm going to bring some stuff to the table to talk about. You're going to bring some stuff to the table to talk about. And from there on in, we will see how we get on for the next half an hour or so. If the sound is off and you're in the live chat, please let me know. But it looks like I might be back now, so that's all good. If you're in and watching, great. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share across your social media. But most importantly, put your comments in there and we will have a chat about whatever you have. What's your handicap, Gav? Says T-Gis. My arms, to be perfectly honest with you. I've had a bit of a bad time at golf. I was at about 11.4 at one stage. I had some horrendous competitions at the back end of last season, and the way the handicap system works, it was bumping me up all the time. I think it's either 15.8 or 16.4. But I expect that to come down as of now, because I've worked really hard throughout the winter on my golf, and I played sadly, didn't play well, or didn't play too badly. Sorry, so that's the story around the golf and the handicap at the moment. So what do we want to talk about? Right, contracts, new contracts, possible new contracts, and James Milner. So James Milner offered, Gareth McDonald says here, offered a 1-year extension. According to various outlets, James Milner has been offered a 1-year extension. How do we feel about that? I'm really happy about it. I have to be honest with you. I don't see James Milner playing an awful lot of football for Liverpool. Stepping in when needed, cover FA Cup. If we have a big win in Europe against Inter, which we'll get on to later, if we have a big win in the first leg, you might see him in the second leg. But I think Milner is more and more becoming a cover player when you see the amount of options we have. But I'd really like to get him a 1-year extension. And that's not me saying that James Milner should play a hugely active part in the squad. I think he's a good squad member to have. But I'm really interested in where he goes after his football career, because I think the sort of guy he is, his dedication to the game, I think it could be a huge asset to Liverpool or some other club, wherever he ends up. I hope he takes on the 1-year extension, I'm going to be honest with you. And we'll see where it goes from there. Big up Gav, why is Milner getting an extension but Salah isn't? Well, says Ali, we don't know that Salah isn't. There's no word. Emma Kavanagh says Salah's been offered a deal, just hasn't been accepted yet. We just don't know. Like, on this show, in fairness, we put a pin in the Salah stuff going back weeks ago, because nothing has happened. We don't, like Emmett says that Salah was offered a deal. I don't know if the deal's being put in there. I would hope it has. I would hope some initial talks has happened. I presume they're somewhere down the road. Klopp has said that it's a natural progression with transfer or contract talks, and that's all we can really do. But nothing has come of it. Nothing's being said either in a good or a bad way. The only thing that's shown badly at the moment is probably the fact that time is ticking on. We're in the middle of February now, and nothing really being said on it. That's a little bit of a worry. But listen, if Klopp was to answer again tomorrow, I presume his answer would be fairly similar to what he said already. It's a normal situation, and we just have to wait and see. We can't not offer other players contracts because Salah hasn't. That Salah one hasn't been sorted. I'd love to see what you think on James Milner. A, the deal. B, what his role is, and C, does he finish up after that 1-year extension and become part of the Liverpool coaching setup, or gets involved with the 23s or the 18s or whatever it might be. But I think they love him around the club. Chris Brack reckons 1-year extension is fine. It will help us transition into coaching and keep the culture right. Milner extension for his impact in the dressing room alone is value for money, says Emma Kavanagh. And people are saying, like, are you extending it? Are we giving him 150 grand for another year? I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's a deal where they go, look, let me put it this way. When Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho, Alisson, Salah, Mane, Firmino, whoever's going in for Luis Diaz is signing, you know, when they're all signing these deals or transferring to the club, they always ask, what's my role going to be? Am I coming straight in? Or will I be, you know, brought into the team slowly? In the case of Luis Diaz, where could I be in a year's time? And then the players that are signing contract extensions will be saying, well, look, who else is signing? Are we looking to bring in more players? What are we looking to do? What's the story with the manager? They all ask these questions. So there's no way James Milner isn't asking the question, listen, I'm not getting many games now, which he's not. He's not getting a huge amount of football. But he hasn't stepped out of line once. There's not been one word from Milner or anybody around Milner. I don't even think he has anyone around him. He deals with everything himself probably. But there hasn't been one word out of line about from Milner. But he's definitely going to ask the question. If I get to the end of the season, I sign a 1 year extension, what's my role going to be? And after that, beyond that, what's it going to be? And the club and him will definitely have that conversation and make a decision based off the football he's going to get and his progression beyond that 1 year. Whether that's he goes off at 30, I think he'd be 37, and plays a year or two for another club, whether it's in the Premier League or Championship or whatever it might be, or he decides, no, that's enough for me. I'm 21 years. He would be about 21 years, 22 years in the game. That's enough for me. It's time, you know, family and stuff, and or coaching or whatever it might be. But he's not silly enough to ask for a mega amount of money. So there'll be loads of questions asked from both sides with regards to the Milner deal. And it's always the same with every deal. But I'd just like to see what you think. So let me read out a few. I think Klopp sees Milner as back up to Trent for right back next season, the midfield, if Nico Williams gets sold, says Sam. Charlie says Milner excellent to have around the squad and fine to drop in certain games. It's a no-brainer. Get them all signed up, says Tejas. Nice to have a squad. No need to trim it. We're on an upward trajectory. Mane, yes. Firmino, not sure. Milner, no, says Curtis J. If Milner stays and we don't get a midfielder because of that, would you be happy with it, Gav? I wouldn't. No, Peter, I wouldn't. I don't see a Milner extension having any bearing on what Liverpool might want to do in the transfer market in the summer with regards to midfield. I did think he might go, but if he didn't, I still think there's enough decisions to be made on other players where one, if not two, go when you bring in one or two. Milner's not going to make a huge thing on this. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So, but I wouldn't know if that was to happen like that scenario. No, I wouldn't be happy, Peter, because you know, if you were saying to me, we could sign, I think Jude Bellingham's a bad comparison, but say like Aeneas Basuma or Chouameni or whoever it might be, right, in midfield, but we're not going to now because we've extended Milner for a year. No, that just doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is forward planning in a different way. It's forward planning for having numbers in the squad, but also for Milner in his career after the game. That's what it looks like to me, but we'll have to wait and see. But no, I wouldn't be happy, just to answer your question. Chris Brack says a 1 year extension for Milner is easier to sort out than a big contract like of Salah, Mane, etc. It is, but we'll get on to Mane and stuff in a minute. The Salah stuff we just haven't heard that. Would you rather had the youngsters had no Uncle James? That's how you end up being Arsenal. I don't know what that means from Red Steve. So Sam says, in my opinion, we will offer new contracts to Mane, Salah, Firmino. We do things behind closed doors. Look how many contracts got done out of the blue last summer without many leaks. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. All the young lads in the squad have spoken of the respect Millie has in the dressing room. A presence like that is vital. I agree. I think it is. And people will say, oh, well, like, it's what he does on the pitch. It is. But you have to take that into perspective of what he's being asked to do on the pitch. Like if you're saying to James Milner, listen, James, I need you to go out and I need you to play 60 minutes at right back against Norwich in the Cup. Or I need you to play a full game as a number 6 against Norwich in the Cup or against whoever in the league because we need to rest because that's the sort of player you want. That's the sort of player. He knows everything, right? His legs mightn't be what they used to be, but he's still somebody you could use in a squad. Forget his age. He's still someone that you could use in a squad. And on top of that, his presence around the team and the squad and the dressing room, the training ground, the club as a whole is a huge thing. And I don't think that should be underestimated. But sometimes people see just black and white when it comes to on the pitch, off the pitch, and they throw arguments that, oh, well, what he's doing off the pitch doesn't, you know, they try put that down, and then people try put down what they're doing on the pitch. I think it's a nice balance there with Milner. The age he's at, the amount of football he would get, and again what he's looking to do after football or after this contract at Liverpool. I think it makes sense. T just says you got to keep the mentality monsters. What James Milner does behind the scenes is invaluable, says Jason. Owen Conway says Milner contract is a joke, gets nowhere near any top squad. I disagree with you, Owen. If you look at, let's take Manchester United as an example. They take James Milner in the squad, and he do a job for most teams on a sparing basis, but what's going on at Manchester United needs somebody to come in there that's level-headed, seen it all, knows how to act and stuff like that. And that's the biggest problem at Manchester United. This is an institution in football, regardless of what way you look at it or who you support. And it's an absolute shit show because there's nobody there taking hold of the squad as a captain like Harry Maguire should do, or a club captain, or a senior player, or, you know, say someone like a Scholes in the past, a Keane, even a Giggs, whatever it might be. There's nobody there like that. It's not a joke. He stays for a year. He knows what he's getting out of it. Klopp knows what he wants to get out of it. Yes, it's a number in the squad, but it doesn't affect what we're going to do in midfield. It genuinely doesn't. You know, in my opinion, it doesn't, though. Is Milner on around 150 grand a week or more? It's a bit steep for that party to play next year, says Kieran. I don't think he's on that much. I read somewhere else he's not on close to that. But it doesn't matter what he's being paid. If he's happy and the club are happy, they're happy. You know, and you have to look at it kind of that way. You know, they have a plan, and they're not going to tell you what the plan is, but we can all try guess it. But I wouldn't say it'd be 150 grand a week for James Milner to extend by a year. I just wouldn't. Sanj says Milner stays on reduced wages and is cheap backup right back, so we can spend big on midfield this summer. Also a great leader off the pitch. Offering Milner a deal, says none of the kids are ready to move up. I'm not too sure. I think he could be a good help, the kids looking to move up. You know, this is James Milner that when he wasn't at the time was he injured and he stayed behind them and watched the FA Cup, or they were all on a break and he went in and he got in amongst the young lads and helped them out. And I think they were playing Shrewsbury a couple of seasons ago in the Cup. Yeah, he's really good to have around the place. We need to try not go over the top over, we signing it to midfielder, look at him, he's 36, and why aren't we doing this? We need to relax. Just relax. It's one of those where the club, the player, will know what's happening now, what's happening in the next year, and what's happening beyond that. It's not a major deal. It's just not a major deal. And you can see his reduced part in the squad as it goes on, in my opinion. You can already see it in playing minutes. You can see it. No doubt he'd be great to have around the training ground. The fact he isn't quite on the bigger deals from both sides, I reckon that means it's being dealt with. Known for a while, is using media to add pressure. Hope you're well, Gav, says Sukhvinder. I am. Bring on Inter tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a minute. Owen Conway's back. He says Milner staying is a joke. We're not a charity. Can't keep players because they shout in the dressing room. Great servant, but not Premier League level anymore, let alone a team challenging on all fronts. Okay, so let's say Milner leaves in the summer, okay, and you want to bring in a midfielder, and that midfielder is going to cost you X amount of money, and 150 grand or 200 grand a week, right? Milner being there or not being there makes no difference to what we're trying to do. None. And if you look at Fabinho in the squad, you look at Thiago, right? You look at Elliot, because that at the moment looks like most people's first choice front or midfield three. Then you have Keita, Ox, Hendo, right? You have them three, right? You have Curtis Jones and you have James Milner, okay? What Liverpool are looking to impact in midfield, like, it's not like we're saying, right, Thiago, we're getting rid of him and we're bringing someone in. We're not going to do that. We're going to look at it and we're going to say to ourselves, there's our three. There's probably three more 4 more, and then there's Milner, in my opinion. And out of those 4 more, you're probably going to switch to. And Milner's there to step in if anything seriously goes wrong. It's not about being a charity. You know what I mean? Liverpool, listen, one thing you can't accuse Liverpool of being is a charity when it comes to what they pay. You know what I mean? They don't pay what some other clubs pay. They play very well. They pay well, but they stick to what they want and what they need and what they're prepared to do. And in this case, they will do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. But look, we could be... Listen, me and Owen disagree on this, and that's absolutely fine. We could be here at the end of the season and he's gone. He decides, I don't want that. I'm going off to play for Leeds, or I'm going off to take a role up at some other club. He could absolutely do that. I just don't see the issue if he was to stay. He is a good servant. You know, very, very good servant to Liverpool. He is getting on in years, but I think he's still someone to have around the place where you can drop in for 30 minutes, drop in for 60, drop in for a game every so often when you need it. I don't see it being an issue. Let me see. If Millie goes, this is another homegrown player that needs replacing. You also can't replace his experience. The homegrown stuff is interesting. It really is. Sam feels that Man United will cry out for a Milner type of player in their squad to keep their standards high on and off the pitch. That's where it kind of comes down to for me. You know, you definitely need players like that. Now, I'm not saying that Alisson, Trent, Robbo, Van Dijk, there's loads of them for me. I think this squad is just littered with players that want to lead, want to have levels, want to keep that level, and get very upset if the level is dropped. And you see it when Liverpool don't win a game. They visibly get very upset over it, that the level is dropped and they haven't taken advantage or taken 3 points. And I think I'm not saying for a second that Milner will go and levels will completely drop. I'm not saying that. But the more you can have, coupled with the fact that you understand what their role is, I don't see the issue in it, because everyone's happy. It's not like you're going to tell Milner he's playing 25, 30, 40 games next season and then he doesn't, and then he's fucking gone mental. It's not like that. Hopefully to start a transition into coaching, says John. Chris says Thiago is 37, still playing for Chelsea, same as Azpilicueta. Fergie kept gigs on for max 5 to 10 games a season to keep the culture. Yeah, it's not. Look, if people are talking like, I don't know what more to say on it. I really don't. Like, the culture's there. I think people might be getting a bit, we need something in midfield, and I agree. I think we definitely need 1, possibly 2 in midfield in the summer. I agree with that. But if people think that what happens to Milner is going to affect what we're going to do, it's not. Because if you decide that you want to get rid of, say, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita, right? Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, or Oxlade-Chamberlain and Curtis Jones, or Curtis Jones and Keita, or whatever it might be, right? I think if you replace them with them too, nobody's going to be sitting around going, they're brilliant moves, but James Milner's still in the squad. They're just not. They're just simply not. It's not going to happen. Gav, Klopp is talking about Barella in his press right now, saying he's a very good player. I think, and you have a winky face beside that. Isn't he banned for these 2 games? I think he is, but we'll have to wait and see. Barry Devaney wants Julian Ward sacked and Owen Conway appointed immediately. No, listen, Owen is absolutely entitled to his opinion. He says, and Owen's back, he says the right back stuff is nonsense. He's got torn apart by Foden and Zaha and should have been sent off in both games. We should be signing actual midfielders and right backs, not 37-year-old Milner on 150 grand a week. Well, first of all, I don't think it's 150 grand a week. I don't know where that figure's come from, right? Zaha and Foden. Well, the Foden thing you're saying, he shouldn't have been sent off because there's a foul before he hits Foden. That's the one at Anfield where he does hit him, in fairness. We should be signing actual midfielders, which I think we will. But we will, and we will probably move 2 out. And the 2 that go out, I would presume most people would say, yeah, probably right. We need something on them. But 37-year-old Milner on 150 grand a week, I don't think is true. That's forced. And the second thing is, 37-year-old Milner is not going to make or break your squad. It's just simply not going to. And I answered the question from Peter earlier. if I thought we were keeping Milner and deciding not to sign him midfield this summer, I'd be back to your own and going, that is actually ridiculous. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But I know where you're coming from, but I don't think it's going to be make or break in midfield. Decisions on midfield will be made independent of if James Milner stays on for a year. This is, for me, is just more forward planning on his. He probably wants another year to play and be around the squad, and then probably wants to move on or coach at Liverpool. And if that's what Liverpool want to do, absolutely fine. Let me see. Carvalho will be homegrown when he's 21. Says Kieran B. Chris Back says Milner didn't get torn by Zaha. Zaha did nothing in that game. Foden was given lots of players issues. People are losing their minds over that will be a choice. Mountain over Mole. I think it's more the money. The money seems to be the issue, but I don't think it's that high. I really don't. Let me see. Is there anything else there before we leg it? A big chat about James Milner today, which was nice. We haven't done that in a while. Red Steve reckons FSG have offered all of Mo's money to Millie. No, stop it with you. Let me see. Sarah Vanan feels that Milner's a model pro, model to youth leadership, calming influence in the squad, and likes of Ribena. I just don't see. Like Sam that says, let's see if he accepts the contract offer. He may want to play for the more likes of Leeds or Aston Villa or something, or get something. They maybe give him a coaching role after he retires. I think that's where Liverpool are probably looking at, because never heard a bad word said about him, and I think Klopp loves him, absolutely loves him, and to have him around the place in a coaching capacity or wherever capacity it might be, we don't know. James Milner could turn and go, listen, I started when I was 16. When I finish up, I want to go back and manage under 16s and help them, because it's a completely different game to them now. You know, James Milner at the time was scrubbing boots and for fuck all money. 16, 17-year-olds are walking around now with everything, and he probably wants to go back and help them. We don't know. We'll have to just wait and see what it is. Reclaimer won't be happy. 50 likes, but listen, if you get to the 100, he'll be happy. So leave it at that. Inter tomorrow. We have a preview of that tonight at 10 o'clock. Myself, Kev, Conroy and Keith. We'll be with you from 10 p.m. to have a big look at that game. There's some big games on tonight as well, which will be good to keep an eye on before we come on at 10. And one thing I wanted to say was, great show. Good man Gav, great show as always. I'm heading over to the game Saturday. Can't waste his own, can't we? Yeah, and enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it. And I just hope Milner doesn't start, because it might ruin your weekend. No, I'm only messing. Enjoy it, mate. I hope you have a cracking weekend. And we should sort them. No problem. Oh yeah, I want to talk to you. If you're a subscriber, go into the community tab. And there's a post in there with regards to our new chat that's available on the Telegram app. And it's very easy to do. You just click on it, give your email address. You can either go for free, which is cool, or you can go for $2.99 a month, which is the exact same as the free one. You're just helping us out with charity and stuff like that, and the running of the app. We've decided that if enough people take this up, we're actually going to use all the money for charity, and we're going to cover the cost of running the app. All right. So if you want to help us, you can. People that help out and get $2.99 get the little LFC DT tag in the chat room, just to let them know that we appreciate that they're giving the $2.99. But we appreciate everybody going in there. It's more the biggest appreciation is going in and chatting, and there's loads of people in there having a great time talking about Liverpool. We're looking to add in more stuff now, like transfer chat. There'll be a general chat. There'll be our merchandise. There'll be all our shows and stuff like that. But it's really good at the moment. If you can get on there for subscribers, it's absolutely free if you want it to be. It's $2.99 a month if you want to help us out. And as I said, all the money that we get from that will go to charity. So make sure you check that out, because it's starting to grow now, and you know there's more and more people joining every day. And like I said, it takes a minute to do. It's on an app, and you can go in and chat away to Liverpool fans or from this chat. And there's a couple of us trippers in there as well. You just chat away all day about. So go and check that out, because it's really, really good. Mark says Millie to be a coach, work his way up to assistant manager and more. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Is the big apology coming tonight then, Gav, says Red Steve? Oh yes, okay, right, I'll make the apology. So Steve got very upset because somebody unliked the show the other night, and just in jest, we all said, I reckon it was Red Steve. Red Steve got really upset, went back and looked through the whole chat, and found a comment from, I can't remember the person's name, saying, you were more than 30 seconds late, so I hit the unlike button. Make me laugh and I'll take it away. So Steve was like, Jessica Fletcher, our more than she wrote, he went and he found it, he screenshotted and he sent it to me. So I, on behalf of everybody here, apologises to Red Steve. It wasn't him that hit the unlike button the other night, it was somebody else, because we were 30 seconds late. And I don't know if we made him laugh, because we still ended up with a couple of dislikes. So I'm sorry, Red Steve, okay? But brilliant work finding that comment and showing us the evidence. Although we will caveat that we are currently looking in to see if it's your burner account that made that comment and you're covering your arse. Okay, I hope that puts it to bed. Garrett McDonald said it's great chat, great crack in the new chat. It really is. Everyone's in there having a lovely time talking about Liverpool, talking about transfers and stuff, but we're going to try to split them up into different sections, so people aren't getting caught up in general chat when they're trying to talk transfers or whatever it might be, and we can just go in there and you can have a little chat about whatever. Tarek says the Telegram chat is excellent, great move. I was flicking between the like and dislike button, trolling when Gav started mentioning it. Kieran B, wow, he might have been the one that done it. And Dicko says it's wild. The chat is wild. The investigation by Red Steve was amazing. And Red Steve is disliking tonight's show anyway. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. I know likes are massive. I don't know how many of the dislikes makes a difference. It tells us about 99% of our likes or dislikes are likes, which is good. So you know, just don't dislike. All I say, if you dislike what we're doing, go into the comments after the show and just tell us why you disliked it. If you could genuinely dislike it for something, and we'll try to change it. Let me see. Trevor Vella has got us some signed pictures, Liverpool related, and he's going to meet with me to give them to me. That's all in relation to the golf day that we're running and the raffle. Now the raffle we are going to do on the day for that, but we are going to do it on the day, but we're going to open up to people before if they want to buy tickets, and we will take your money, we will take your name, and we put them on the tickets for you and do it live that night, and we'll Instagram it live so everyone can see it happening, and it's all above board and all that sort of stuff. I think that's about it. Like I said, we're doing the preview for Inter tonight. Tomorrow we'll do a bit of lineup predictions and stuff like that, but today it was all about James Milner. And most people like the fact that he might be signing a 1-year deal and 1-year extension, except for Owen Conway, who, you know, is fully committed to going to Anfield on Saturday, and for the only reason is to throw abuse at James Milner and basically to tell him to get out of the club. I'm only messing, he's not going to do that. That has been the cop update for today. As I said, big chat around James Milner. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and when you subscribe you can check out our chat on the Telegram app. Back at 10, me, Conroy, Keith and Kev for a preview of Inter versus Liverpool in the Champions League tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon. Over now.